I've been playing Minecraft for almost 11 years now, and I've been recording for almost 6. And because of that, I have built and witnessed a lot of crazy stuff, including these two Endermen just chilling together. No shame whatsoever on Valentine's Day. But in this episode, we're working on something that I've never done before, and that is working on a huge Minecraft build for 100 hours within 3 weeks. But before we start this video, big word of thanks to my school for actually letting me do this. You see, there's this thing that we have which is called senior projects. It's 3 weeks long at the end of senior year, and we can do whatever we want. And that's the only way how a challenge this big would, in this little time, would be possible. So huge shout out to your school, and let's continue with the episode. Without further ado, let's get started. Hours 1 and 2, I went end busting. I just went around the outer end, looking for end cities and killing shulkers for the main purpose of shulker boxes. Yes, the elytras are nice, but they're kind of secondary. I'm also a bit of an end city nerd, so this was pretty easy for me, even without a shield. After this, I had around 100 shulker boxes, which should be more than enough for this project. I probably should have done this earlier, before I even started this, but I guess it doesn't matter very much. Next, I went to my Hogland farm for a bit to AFK to get a few pork chops to help me support myself during this adventure. I then put all of my shulker boxes inside of 4 minecart chests and moved the minecart chests back to my starter base, while leaving 1 at my gold farm. These 4 minecart chests will be very handy later in this episode, and you will see why. After this, I started the first phase of this project, and that is getting the resources needed to build the thing. And one of the resources needed is gold, not because of the gold blocks, but because of the items the piglins give you. Specifically, gravel, quartz, and blackstone. I now started building outward with the rail to go to the location that the build will be. As you can see from this map, it is really far away, because I have future plans for the spawn area and I don't really want it interfering with the spawn area. I also put the railway exactly where the lane, or one of the lanes, will be of the future Route 2. The reason why I did this is for simplicity reasons, and you can kind of see it shrinking on where the highway is planning to lose the outermost lane. Oh yeah, this village was inconveniently in the way as well. I don't know how I only ran into one village, lava pool, desert, temple, one structure the entire time, but I just got really lucky. Anyways, I started to diverge from the future Route 2 here, just to go a few hundred blocks more to the future destination of this building. After that, I decided to grab some sandstone and craft some sandstone walls, because what I was going to do next is border off the highway, so that, or at least the Route 2 part of the highway, so that slimes don't attack me while I'm going in and out via minecart. Because, you know, slimes, the bane of Super Flat World players' existence. I also did this to the sand mine, as you saw a bit earlier in the time-lapse, if you're wondering what that sudden diversion was earlier. Anyways, we are now at the sand farm, or sand mine, shall we say, gathering sand. And after this, I got 24 shulker boxes of sand, which is way more than I'd ever need for this project. Although that's good, because getting sand is a bit of a pain in the butt for me. And yeah, I don't really like doing it. Anyways, I quickly put all of that sand inside of a minecart chest, and I went into the nether to do much more tedious and a task which will produce a lot less resources: quartz and gravel mining. After this, I only got around 3 shulker boxes of gravel and like 18 stacks of quartz blocks. Yeah, not a lot. Hours 19 to 20 on blackstone mining. I don't have a clip of this. It got scrapped somewhere. I don't know where. But yeah, just went blackstone mining. Got around 3 shulker boxes of it. This should be enough. So I decided to take a break by doing a bit of basalt mining and AFKing at my piglin bartering system. And I did this in waves because if I didn't, my pickaxe will break. And I also didn't AFK for long periods of time for that same reason. I then went to AFK at my wool farm for a little bit to get mainly gray wool. I only got 9 stacks of gray wool due to me not having a lot of gray sheep, which will not be enough to complete this build. After that, I went off to do some more gravel and quartz mining. In total, with the first round, I got around 5 shulker boxes worth of gravel and around 1 shulker box and 18 stacks worth of quartz. This should hopefully be enough to complete the build. On hour 27, I actually went down to gather some stone. Got around 3 shulker boxes of it. It is very framey. I'm sorry, it's because I sped it up and then I slowed it down. I also did another hour of stone mining around hour 40 while I was smelting everything. I then gathered 4 minecart chests that were scattered all over the world, and I pushed them all right next to my sugarcane farm so that I can be more organized in the future. Decided to build a furnace and start smelting. It is hour 30 and this took a lot longer than I expected. I expected it to take 5 hours, but due to me constantly running out of fuel, having to go nether get more blaze rods for more fuel, and also the just sheer size, or small size shall I say, of the smelting system, it took 19 hours. And I didn't even get a lot at the end either. I only got around 2 shulker boxes worth of smooth sandstone, 2 shulker boxes worth of smooth stone, 2 shulker boxes worth of glass, and 18 stacks roughly of smooth quartz. This will turn out to be enough, but still, it was not a lot. I did get a nice bonus, though, in the meantime, of getting around 18 stacks of gray wool, which was really neat due to how much time I spent AFKing just waiting for my items to smelt. With everything gathered on hour 49, I finally decided to go to the build site with my 4 minecart chests. Once I got there on hour 49 and a half, I immediately unpacked all of my shulker boxes and started planning out the build. So the base layer, the layer we're doing first, is going to be a circle. I used a circle generator. I'm pretty good at freestyling circles, although I'm not the best at it. And the circle is going to have a diameter of 103 blocks. And now it was time to start building up on hour 50. And you can see him making kind of a diagonal shape with the circle around it. You will see why a bit later. But you can also see that the lowest point and the highest point are also on corners, which is completely intentional for more shape. I then decided to do a ring on top of this layer or the first layer. Originally I did it with a blue ring with stone brick stairs, although I then just switched it to plain stone bricks because that just looked better and more complete. I went 11 blocks deep going in with sandstone to make a visible ring like that, and then I started on the second layer. And you can see now how the top is on a flat edge. This is, like said, for more shape. I then did the third layer, which is just to make the top section flat, and made a sandstone base over the top section in order to support the rest of the buildings, which will be on top of it. On hour 60, I finally decided to go inside and create the front entrance to the interior of the building. I started to place the road as well, which will go to the interior, and along with that, I decided to make one of the exits to make it much easier to get up to the top and back down to where my stuff is. On hour 63, I just put a lane line around the sandstone areas on the edges, which will be roads. And then from hours 64 to 70, I went back to my base to AFK on my wool farm for a bit longer because I realized that I was not going to have enough gray wool. I also grabbed a few different colored wool as well to help with both the road and also for decoration in the city above. On hour 71, I started building the first tower in my city. And on hour 72, I did the second. And on hours 73 and 74, I did the other two. And also, as you can see, I put different colored wool floors on the inside of each one, which I think is a neat touch. I also added some of the glass inside of it pointing into the city, and also with the short tower I decided to change it from white concrete and blocks of quartz to light gray wall and white concrete due to just looking like a worse version of the tall skinny tower right next to it. Hours 75 to 77, I went into the interior to start working on it. And I started first by making the ceiling of the main room. Hours 78 to 80, I decided to start working on the roads the main road that will go underneath the city. It'll loop around the central section, which is what I worked on. Hour 81, I decided to do the ceiling of the beginning section. As you can see, I just did a plain white concrete, and I also did it on the other side, leading into hour 82, which I also blasted through the other side to make another entrance on the opposite side. I then decided to do one more exit, but then I ran into a big issue. I did not have enough blue dye in order to finish the other side of the road. So I had to bite my tongue and go back to my gold farm to gather a lot of lapis in order to create enough blue wool to finish the road. After that, on hour 87, I decided to do the last two exits and entrances, and then I started digging down in the central section. On hours 89 to 90, I first added a few rooms on the outside of the highway on the edges for you to park and be able to go inside the central section, along with little tunnels going underneath leading there. I also replaced all of the sand in that interior area with sandstone. On hour 91, I finally started to do the stalactites on top. I first did the huge one, and I also put a few smaller ones around it, and while putting lanterns on it so I don't have to rely on end rod spam. On hour 92, I put the two smaller stalactites on each side, along with replacing every end rod up on top with lanterns to make it look better and more symmetrical. On hour 93, I decided to focus solely on mob proofing, slime proofing. And on hour 94 and 95, I decided to finish putting in all of the rails so that I can finally transport it around it on minecart rail, along with replacing all of the torch and end rod stands in each house and apartment with alternate light sources. On hours 97 and first half of hour 98, I then designed the exteriors of all the apartments and also the interiors of all the subways. And then after that, I was basically done. I put a bit of a sandstone base, which made it look a whole lot better on the second half of hour 98. I also decided to put the 4 lane lines in the center and make a slow convergence for them to go from 4 to 2 and then to 1. But now I had 2 hours left, which had nothing to do. So I packed everything up, patched the creeper holes, and I also went looking for a few strongholds around because I had nothing else to do. And then, on the second half of hour 100, I went back to my base with the 4 minecart chests I had this entire journey. And the build was complete. And this is the finished build result. Yeah. I'm just gonna fly up here a bit. You can maybe see in the windows a bit. This is all stores. This is all apartments, and then these two are are stores on the bottom, and then apartments above. And if you fly down here, you go into here with each of them having their own exit. The exits are actually pretty tricky. We have the huge room in here. Yes, I know I'm walking on the wrong side of the road. We have the ruined city. We have the parking lot area right there. And overall, I think this turned out pretty well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out!